Hello, hello, crossroads, witches, and other interesting magical beings. So happy to be here today. And as I'm sitting here looking, I'm like, oh, y'all can see my coffee. I'll move that off so we can act like I got it all set up. So it is springtime. I love springtime. This is one of my favorite seasons. It's spring and also fall. I love the time of death and I love the time of birth. And this is the time of birth. This is the time when we're starting to see the buds coming out. The little tender green leaves are starting to appear. We're seeing the birds out there cleaning out their old nest and making new nest for the coming season. Animals that are hibernating are waking up and cleaning out their dens. And again, getting ready for the new season. So where does that leave us in all of this? It's time to clean out our own dens. And when we're talking about spring cleaning, we need to be talking about some shadow work and to clean out, not only to continue working on our traumas of many, many years, but also last year's traumas. Every year you get new traumas. Isn't that great? And that's why it's so important to do spring cleaning, to take stock of yourself. And I love it. There are a lot of journal prompts, journal books. We have so much amazing information out there, about shadow working. For the house here, we've got a book, Dancing with Your Shadows. I will see if I can't do the whole linky thing. Last time I tried to do the linky thing, it didn't work out, but we'll work on that. I'm not here to promote just my stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, great. Go get the book. I would love you to have it. houseofwitchcraft.com. But what I really like more is for you to tune into you. And as witches, like I said, last year was pretty traumatic. We had some shit go down. And we need to stop and sort of take stock of that, where we're at, where we're feeling. And if there's looking back on things, where we feel that we weren't acting accordingly. This is part of holding yourself accountable, part of holding yourself responsible for your actions. Where you look back and you're like, ooh, I got triggered. Why did I get triggered? What can I do to work on that trigger? I talk a lot about this. It's not getting rid of shadows. You don't ever want to do that. You want to keep your shadows in balance, all right? Jealousy is actually a good thing because jealousy creates drive, acquirement, desire to have, all right? No problem with that. Jealousy out of balance is where you end up with restraining orders and stalkers and people who are just vicious. And they're like, why doesn't he like me or she like me or they like me? And it's because they're so goddamn eaten up with jealousy because they want to either have what you have, be what you are, whatever. This jealousy is out of balance, all right? And to look at yourself honestly, look at yourself for real, okay? Accountability of your own actions. Why were you triggered? And some of, the envy, jealousy, greed, which are these, can lead to a lot of problems, are actually the same drives, emotions, desires that when they're in balance, they help us create success, all right? So don't deny your darkness, all right? Work on finding your darkness and balance. We have to find those places of dignity, of grace, of kindness. And it's about striving for them, all right? I know I've been striving for them for years now. And some days are better than others, and that's okay. This isn't the path of perfection. This is the path of life. This is the path of experience, of explorations. And sometime in the middle of all that, you'd be like, yeah, I wore the wrong shoes. It's just not going according to plan, and that's okay. Next time you're going to go get the right shoes. And that's how you view this time of the year. And also to make sure that in your physical spaces, to make sure that you've uncluttered those corners. Remember, cluttered corners clutter energy. It does not allow energy to flow around us. And this is another so simple thing, but I guarantee, unclutter the corners of your room. All right, if you can, in an ideal world, they're empty. Most of us don't live in ideal worlds, all right? When we do, so if you have things in your corners, make sure it's neat, it's orderly, all right? It's done well, whatever that is. But keeping the flow of the energy around you is important. And this is the time to get your hands in the dirt, all right? No wonder I love springtime. It's got the dirt in it, There's just something about putting your hands in dirt. You're putting your hands in the entire universe. You're putting your hands in everything that was, is, and will be. And it's in that moment. It's an entire ecosystem right there, Plant you a little something. Please go do it just for your own. And I know some of the witches out there are like, I do not garden. I do not have plants. All right. Just try. Just a little, I always start with a basil, a rosemary, any of your culinary herbs that you can use in the kitchen and also use magically. Start caring for, bringing it in, watching it grow. Is it such a good way to connect with nature? Not all of us go for long walks in the woods or, can go sit by the creek type thing. And sometimes a potted plant is as good as it gets for us. And celebrate your potted plant, But this is the time to get out, if you can, to take the walk, to get into springtime. This is the time to go through your closet, donate all those old clothes, get real about the clothes that you are like, oh, one day I'm going to wear that. No, you're not. All right. What is that Marie Kondo? If it doesn't bring you joy, I go by the 3-year rule. If I haven't worn it in 3 years, then out it goes. Makes room for new. Because if I keep holding on to all of this stuff, I don't have room for the new stuff, And it's very lightening. It just lightens everything. It lightens the energy when you get it out of there, And so go into your closets, look at it realistically, and get rid of some of the stuff, Look in some of your other spaces, get rid of it, clean your nest out, get it ready for the coming season so that you can bring things home, And like I was saying earlier with shadow work, we've got a lot of great different journals that you can get. There's some good blogs written. There's some exercises that are done. And so I always tell people, prompts, journal prompts are what I like, but it's not necessarily what you like. So go down the rabbit hole and find things that resonate with you in regards to shadow work. All right. And making sure that, that it's a good, solid one type thing. But we have such good information. I just don't want to, I'm like, no, let me tell you what I do. And I'm like, well, that don't matter. What matters is what you're doing, witch. That's what matters. All right. So shadow work, spring cleaning, lighten the load. Let's get ready for an amazing year that's coming. We've got the whole part. We're in the season of the light half of the year. It's time for us to dance with flowers in our hair, witches. So of course, decorate your brooms with flowers. Get out there and fly them. And as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and a bobo. I gotta have some coffee on that one. I got too excited. Those always get excited in the springtime. I planted some violas. I planted some elephant ears. I planted 2 spireas. Ooh, I've planted 2 wisteria vines. And I found me some wild honeysuckle down on the edge of the field over there, but it's been raining for the past couple of days, so it's mushy. But once that dries up a little, I'm gonna go back there and very carefully get a little twig. If you do wildwood, take things that are, native is where I go out in the woods around me and dig it up and bring it home and plant it in my yard. The rule of thumb is to make sure that, you just take a little of it. You don't take all of it. You don't destroy a plant to take a plant. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Sustainability and mindfulness when we're out there. And I always like to take, I have these little Melba toast things that I'll crumble them up and I leave it around, the area where I was as my offering. I've been also known to take cute little shiny stones and things out there, and I leave them for the fairy folk, whatever I'm inclined to do is how this goes when I'm out there in my gardens and things where I decide that, I have fairies over in this one garden. So I went up to the dollar store and got some of those pretty little glass balls that they have in the bag. And I sprinkled them all around this one area for them. I went back over there and all of these pretty little white flowers were growing up in between the glass baubles. And I felt like it was just oh, look what the fairies did. They've got flowers there too. And the whole space just feels happy, bright, sparkly, And that's so important for all of us, is to have our spaces that make us feel good, And for some folks, like I was talking earlier about that, try planting a little. I know y'all are not gonna plant anything. So I would recommend that you go to the Dollar General and get a $5 fake plant and sit it there, and call that your greenery. If that really gets to it and you're like, I can't do it, cheat. I think the universe has a sense of humor, and I know the goddess does. And with that said, I'm going to stop talking because I was supposed to end this video, and then I, for whatever reason, decided to just keep talking to y'all. And I just, thank you. Thank you for all of your support. April this year will be 5 years that I've been on social media. And it's just been an amazing, amazing thing for me. I have met so many wonderful people. I've gained a lot of wisdom. And I just couldn't imagine now not having these connections that I have with folks around the world. And that is amazing as well to me, that I've gotten to meet so many folks all around. And it just really reinforces my belief that most folks are good. Most folks are good. And most witches are awesome. All right, get out of here. I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee. And I'm looking out that window and the sun's shining. Something tells me I'm going to go dig dirt. On the back end, keeping it real, someone asked me, what do I do to get ready for shooting videos? Well, I'm sitting here this morning, drinking some OJ, smoking my happy pen, got me my 24 karat eye patches on. I'm like, ooh, these feel so good. And I'm just sitting here contemplating, marinating, meditating, thinking about things is all I do. I got my notepad down here and I write some notes down. And then when I get that, I go put on a little makeup and go press record.